All right, I have a special guest with us actually today, and we're gonna be talking all about Onewheels. Yep, that thing that retailed for $14.99, which actually now the XR version I think is $19.99, so twice as much as my first car. It's kind of crazy. What the hell was I thinking when I bought this? I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Corey. Corey, how are you doing today?
Pretty excellent.
What are we doing out here?
We're one-wheeling.
We're one-wheeling. Is that your beast?
That sure is.
All right, so this is the device I was talking about. This one's actually a Onewheel Plus. It's a few models old. I think they came out in about 2017. I made a few modifications to it. We have a battery extender that actually, with this particular battery, lets it go 3 times the distance, probably close to 17 to 20 some miles. Top speed, well, it depends who you ask, I suppose. The top speed for me is about 15 miles per hour. You talk to others, yes, and you'll see later in this video, they've got it up to 20 some, and bad things can happen when you hit that speed. I also have a little bit of protection here, so if we do a thing called a nosedive, it can actually roll, and it saved my butt a couple times. Got some of my supplies, that you can tell, from Craft and Ride. That's a sticker on the side. Anyway, this is more than my first car. What the hell was I thinking? Corey and I are out just for a little stroll here. Let's talk about one-wheeling. He is actually the reason how I got involved in this. Probably about 2 years ago, I was a little bit jealous. Him going around at our campsite, just flying around. Meanwhile, I was on one of those stupid, well, they call them hoverboards, the ones that can catch on fire if they're made from the wrong people or have the wrong batteries in them. And it just didn't seem fair. He could go fast, I could go slow. He could carve, because that's one of my favorite things. What I'm doing right now is carving, just like you were snowboarding. Because I'd have to say it's probably one of the most closest experience you can snowboard. And on top of that, you don't have to pay for the lift ticket. And you don't have to drive far from your house, and sometimes, heck, you don't even have to drive from your house. You can just take right off. I've rode mine to work quite a few times and rode it home. I've even taken it to the grocery store before to pick up a gallon of milk. And yes, it puts a smile on my face every damn time.
Top speed, top speed. Okay, there he goes.
So how are you?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. I can't complain. My wife and I were outside riding a little bit today and got the old board out here.
Awesome.
She's out suntanning now, and I told her I had a little Zoom conversation with you.
Awesome. Well, like I said, ever since I saw your video, I was very impressed.
I don't know. I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or not.
Oh, you
That was
should. I think you
horrendous
should.
crash. But,
Because you're still walking.
uh,
No.
oh yeah, no, I mean I was out riding the next day, so
Dang.
that's a lot of fun. I mean, you know,
All right. Well, I'm just
little
going to
bit
ask you a
older,
question.
so-
How long have you been riding the one wheel?
about 3 years now.
3 years.
So it's been a little while. Yeah.
And how did you find out about Future Motion's one wheel, or what got you?
Actually, I'm pretty sure you know him, Ryan Hurwitz. He
Yep.
has Witt's Wheel. He and I have been friends for decades. And he actually brought one to a Jimmy Buffett concert that we were going to together. And I rode it and immediately wanted one. Took me a little bit longer to talk to my wife about it because, you know, they're expensive, but
Yeah, they are.
it's worth every penny. I mean, my birthday came and they just come out with the XR. So I bought one and waited for 4 months or something for it. But yeah, that sparked the interest, and it has not diminished at all.
I see that. You even got her into it. How did that go?
Oh yeah. At first she didn't want to ride it. She was worried that she would do the same thing that I did, but she kind of came around to it, started riding my board, and then it got to the point where she was constantly riding mine. So I bought her a pint, and that didn't last long before my daughter jumped on the pint. And so we bought another one, and we've just been really rolling everywhere. They're fun. They're perfect.
All right. Well, what were you doing
So
that
what do you
day?
want to know? So what do you want to know about the crash?
Yeah. Well, I want to know, what were you doing that day, first of all? Were you just out and about, or?
Drinking heavily. No, we were out on St. George Island, and we were riding around. I was actually running the one wheel back and forth from the little liquor store on the corner back to the beach where we were. And, you know, I was really moving, and I started realizing that I was running around 24 to about 25 miles an hour. So I texted Ryan and I said, I thought you said these things only went like 19 miles an hour. I just got a top speed of like 26 miles an hour. He said, bullshit. Unless you record it, unless it's on video, it doesn't count. So I said, all right. So my son has an Audi Q8. It's got the heads-up display in it, or Q7. So I had him drive behind me and video to show the speed. And, you know, I got around 24, 25 miles an hour then. And at the end of the video, we were leaving because the whole outside of the island was on fire. So I said, just follow me down here. We're going to get a little side profile, and I'm going to say thank you to Ryan and everything. And that's when it happened. And I hit, kind of rolled into it. It looked a lot worse than it was, and the aftermath was a lot worse than I thought it was. But I didn't break anything that I know of. Just took a serious pride detour and lost a lot of skin. And that's the worst part about it. It's road rash. I'd rather have a broken bone than road rash. It's awful.
Yeah.
Stick to everything.
Definitely. Any good tips or tricks you got after that spill?
Yeah, I definitely respect the board a little bit more, the pushback. But, I mean, I'm still riding 20-plus miles an hour. You know, on any good day, we're riding between 18 and 25 miles an hour. I ride a lot of off-road now. I don't really ride in town anymore. I mean, not that much. I mean, we do go on group rides and things, but off-road's really my forte now, and I've been really enjoying it. It's a hell of a lot more forgiving than hitting asphalt or concrete, but it takes on a whole new challenge. So, you know, trying to be spirited and ride off roads is something that most people just don't understand, and they really don't have a minute. They like to stick to the streets, but as you know, I mean, I know that you ride off road sometimes too, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's more challenging, and it kind of lends a little bit of credence to honestly just to what this board can do and what it's capable of, and how tough it is. Because I've heard a lot of people complaining these days about how Future Motion doesn't do anything for them, and, you know, whatever, that's their own prerogative, but it does not take away from the capability of these boards. And that to me it's outstanding. I love pushing the limits.
That sounds
What I
like
do.
you brought a whole new thing to the Bartman, right? Do the Bartman.
Yeah, apparently that's the case.
Have you nosedived since?
Yes, matter of fact,
I was wondering about that. I saw that.
Yeah, I went down. You got to be careful. We were riding in Atlanta with Chase Walks and my wife and a few others, and it was a little bit later riding on the Beltline, and, you know, just some little young punks thought it'd be funny to kind of jump out at us and pretend like they were going to push us. Well, he got a little too close to me, and I ran over the corner of his foot and went down there of no fault of my own, but, you know, that it happens, you know, any kinds of wrecks. But before that, yeah, I wrecked probably weekly. That's part of it. If you're going to push the limits of the board, you're going to wreck. So, and do I wear safety equipment? Yeah, I do now. Sometimes I definitely always wear my One Protect gloves. That they actually saved my hands from looking like this or worse, breaking my fingers. They've got the pucks, so I do use those. My wife's got me wearing a helmet every now and then, and but that's about it. I mean, learn how to fall. Learn how to fall. Period.
I think that's very good, Wise. That's the biggest trick. Learn how to fall. I've seen so many people within the first week that just give it up because of
broken clavicle, broken wrists, and somehow broken femur. Femur. That's unbelievable. I don't know. So.
Well, again, Bart, it's been a real pleasure talking to you, and I'm glad you took a little time out of your schedule today to talk to me. I guess my only last question, since the name of my channel is "What the hell was I thinking?" When you crashed, what the hell were you thinking?
Shit, I'm going down, and unfortunately I'm going down on camera, and I knew that I was. When the nose of the board hit, all I could think about was, run, feet, don't fail me now, you know. run it out. And it doesn't work. You can't run 20 plus miles an hour. Like I said, I'm no Carl Lewis, but first instinct was basically to try and tuck and roll into it, which it looked really bad because the camera kind of moved away as I wrecked, so you didn't get to see the aftermath of that. But I did kind of spin into it and bounce right back up, ran back, grabbed my sunglasses and my one wheel, and I ran as fast as I could to the car.
And your beer.
I was pretty torn up. It was painful.
Yeah.
The beer did not make it. Yeah, I did still have it in my hand. Actually, I can't believe I still had it in my hand after all that. But yeah, it's my counterweight, man. I have to have it while I ride.
I
got a couple beers, it loosens you.
Well, I actually, on a serious note,
it's always wonderful to talk to you, man.
Yeah. Well, on a serious note, though, I did have a friend that I was riding with that, they were just blowing the dust off me, and we were on the road going to a tap house, and he didn't know he was going to hit top speed, and he was wearing a helmet and all his protection gear, and he did the same thing, nosedived at 20-some, and he didn't come to. He survived it, but he was knocked out for 5 minutes. With the helmet, he broke the helmet. Yeah. So it was amazing. I mean, he was cool.
Well, I am an advocate for helmet wear as well as other things, even though sometimes I don't wear them. I have an 8-year-old daughter and now a 21-year-old son who also rides Onewheels. And, I always try and make them wear helmets. They always wear protective gear, helmets and it makes no sense that I don't. Do I think that's incredibly stupid on my part? Yes. But, it's sometimes I'm just, I'm not always looking to try and crash. It happens, but I'm not trying to say, all right, well, I'm going to put on the helmet, I'm going to put on the pads, I'm going to put on the gear, I'm going to put on the gloves, and I'm going to anticipate a crash. I don't go out riding like that. And most of the times when I crash, it's just, going into a tuck and roll and bouncing back up, grabbing the board. Okay, I'm going to try that again. See if I can make it this time. But, if you're not, and I'm a very experienced rider, you know, it doesn't matter if I crash a lot. People who crash a lot, that means they're actually pushing, you know, their levels of where they're at. And that's why we do it. We want to know where our limitations are at. And the better rider you become, the better you will become at crashing. And I mean, I know that sounds strange, but, you know, with practice, so I really don't hurt myself. I really don't break any bones, just typically minor abrasions that would be completely taken care of if I were wearing protective gear. But, you know, call it stupid, call it stubbornness, call it being born in the 70s and having our parents tell us to go outside and don't come home until it's dark.
Yep.
Coming back with, you know, scrapes and bruises and just laughing about it and understanding that that was just part of going out and doing something. And this, you know, I hate to say it, but it's only got one wheel. I mean, you know, if you don't wreck on one of these, you're doing something wrong, because look at it. I mean, it's the most amazing thing that I've ever seen in my lifetime. So, you know, with that being said, you know, let's face reality. We're talking about a one wheel. We're not talking about 4 wheels or even 2 wheels. We're talking about something that you literally have to balance on to ride. And people are, well, it only goes 19, 20 miles an hour. How fast do you really want to go on one tire?
Yeah.
You know, all these UEC riders, or the electric umbilical, whatever they are, the, you know, unicycle.
Unicycle, yep.
They're going 45 miles an hour and such. You're not recovering from that if you go down. I mean, that's just stupid in my opinion. I don't need it to go much faster than it does to have just. And I watched Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure last night, or the new one. So excellent. But it is just, it's the most fun thing in the world. And I recommend it to everybody. Will you get hurt? Probably. Is it worth it? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have 4 of them. So, you know, and it is expensive, but you know, it's like any hobby. You're going to get sucked into it. And like you said, every single one of the shirts in my closets have something to do with Onewheels now. And I just, you know, it's consumed my life, and it's something that my wife and I and children do together. And yes, I got known for something very stupid, but you know, I think it's really kept me in it. And you know, I'm not a quitter, so I enjoy just going right back out there and trying to perfect it. Yeah. So now I'm on to tricks, and we built a 3/4 mile track out here, which is awesome. We go and ride every day, and you know, just practice. I know everybody's saying it's not a sport, but no, but it's damn good exercise if you do it right, or it can be, or it can make you lazy. Either way.
Well,
you know?
again, it's been a pleasure talking with you, Bart. Thank you for taking some of your Saturday. You got to fill up with a few more of these, though, because, you know.
God. Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. All right, brother. You take care. It's good talking to you. Woo!
Good talking to you, Les. All right.
Bye-bye.